Hey guys, welcome back to the recap. This week on the recap, we have AEW. So we start off AEW with a tag team gauntlet match, and the winners of the tag team gauntlet match goes off to All Out, and they get a tag team title opportunity against Hangman Page and Omega. So we have uh, the top ranked four tag teams in AEW because AEW has rankings for their competitors, and we have the Young Bucks start off the match going against the Nightmare family, which is Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, and we had a special surprise. We had Le Champion Chris Jericho join us for commentary, and I love Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is always great on the mic. It's very entertaining to hear Chris Jericho with Jim Ross on the commentary table. AEW has fans again, and it was cool to hear the fans singing Chris Jericho's song as he came out. Really missed that. So the Young Bucks versus Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall was a decent match. The Young Bucks ended up beating QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. So then the Young Bucks had to face off against the Best Friends next. So that match was pretty decent. I feel like it was a little sloppy here and there, but they went up against them, and the Young Bucks were about to win. But then Adam Hangman Page came out, and he prevented the Young Bucks from winning. He grabbed onto one of their legs on the apron, and they got rolled up, and the Best Friends beat the Young Bucks. Is Hangman turning heels? Is he turning on all the elite? We'll see. Then we had the last match in the tag team gauntlet match, which was FTR, which is the number one ranked tag team in AEW, go off against the Best Friends. And FTR beat the Best Friends with the Smash Mouth style of wrestling. So at All Out, it's going to be FTR versus Adam Page and Omega. Alright guys, so next up on AEW this week we have Murder Hawk, which I'm familiar with him. Like not AEW him or New Japan him, but I'm familiar with the Lance Archer, the character he had before when he was in WWE. He was in the like new branded ECW, and I like that character, Lance Archer. So I don't know why they got rid of him, but I could tell he was like a really good talent, and I really like Murder Hawk, and he went off against a debut in Sean Maluda, which I remember him from WWE too. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic, the first one, and he was a good wrestler too, but he got destroyed in his debut match against Murder Hawk, and Murder Hawk hit like this crazy high choke slam on him, and did his finisher and won the match. And I can't wait to see All Out. Alright, next up on AEW, guys, we had a segment which I love. AEW has some of the best segments ever. So it was MJF and Jon Moxley contract signing for All Out, where the contract states that in their match for the world title, Jon Moxley can't use the paradigm shift. It's going to be, it's going to be illegal to use it in the match because MJF is claiming that it's a hazard and it could break his neck or whatever. So MJF, awesome heel, and I love MJF's mic skills. Jon Moxley, I love Jon Moxley on the mic because the dude's just, he got screws loose, and he's always been one of my favorite wrestlers, especially out of the Shield. He was my favorite in the Shield, and I love all the guys in the Shield. The Shield was like one of my favorite stables when they burst onto the scene, but Jon Moxley was my favorite. And something about him, his craziness and his charisma is just captivating. So Jon Moxley signed the contract. MJF and his lawyer started celebrating, calling him dumb for even like signing the contract. And Jon Moxley was cool about it too. Jon Moxley was like, pleasure doing business with you guys, and it's cool that you let me add on that extra page at the end. And they were like, what extra page? There's only 16. He was like, no, I added the 17th page. He was like, you guys didn't read it before you signed? And then, so what he added on the contract was that MJF's lawyer has to go against Jon Moxley next week on AEW, and Jon Moxley, it's totally legal for him to use the paradigm shift on the lawyer. So, and if the lawyer doesn't show up, then their match at All Out, MJF versus Jon Moxley for the world title, doesn't happen, if the lawyer doesn't show up next week to go against Jon Moxley, which I thought was brilliant and hilarious. So I can't wait to see AEW next week and see Jon Moxley versus the lawyer. All right, guys. Next up, we have a 8-man tag team match. So we had the team of the Lucha Bros and the Blade and the Butcher go on to face Bad Boy Joey Janela, Sonya. Sorry, I gotta look over because I'm not too familiar with some of their names. Sonya Kiss, Brian Pillman Jr., and Griff Grayson. I haven't heard of some of these people. I'm not too familiar with Brian Pillman Jr., even though I know Brian Pillman, his dad. I don't know Griff Grayson. I've never seen Sonya Kiss wrestle. I just have heard of Sonya Kiss and seen Sonya Kiss's like clips and stuff like that. Joey Janela I've seen wrestle before, not a lot. I've seen him wrestle before though, and so I know who Joey Janela is. And I'm getting familiar with Rey Fenix, and I know them more than I know the other team. I know Lucha Bros and Blade and Butcher more than I know the other team. They had a good match, and I got introduced to a lot of new wrestlers. That's new to me. And the team of the Lucha Bros and Blade and the Butcher, they won, and they announced that they're going to be in the 21-man Battle Royal at All Out. Alright, so next up on AEW, we had another segment. We had the Dark Order come out, talk about how they ended Cody Rhodes' career and stuff like that. Mr. Brody Lee came out. I like Brody Lee. I like this version of Brody Lee because I get to hear him talk more. Because when he was in WWE, he didn't talk as much, and I'm starting to like really get a feel for this new character of his, and he's good on the mic, and he's a very powerful. He's kind of like Bray Wyatt. He's a very powerful. He has a very powerful character, and that reminds me so much of Bray Wyatt. But as they were talking, Dustin Rhodes came out, QT Marshall came out, Scorpio Sky came out, and Matt Cardona is back. You know I'm a Zack Ryder in WWE, but he's in AEW now. Matt Cardona came out because he's best friends with Cody, and all of them started beating up the Dark Order. So you can imagine that the Nightmare family and associates with Cody and his family are gonna be having a feud with the Dark Order in the coming weeks. So next up, we got another segment, very quick little segment. The Young Bucks went and confronted Adam Page about him costing them the match, and he didn't really get to speak because they kept yelling over him. So they kicked him out of the Elite. Adam Page is no longer in the Elite. Let's see how that goes. I feel a feud coming on. Next up, we have a match between Big Swole, and she's in a handicap match against Rebel and Penelope Ford. I'm kind of familiar with Penelope Ford. I haven't seen her wrestle too much. I'm completely not familiar with. I've heard of Big Swole, but I'm not familiar with her at all. And I'm not Rebel. I'm not too sure if I know who she is or not. I know Rebel, like Matt Hardy's wife, but I don't think that's the same Rebel. But anyway, yeah. So this handicap match, if Big Swole wins, she gets to determine what match she has against Dr. Britt Baker, who is currently injured right now. And I didn't like the match that much. I feel like it was it wasn't terrible, but I just feel like it was like not needed, or not needed, but it could have been better. But Big Swole won, so Big Swole is gonna get her chance to go against Britt Baker whenever she chooses to go against her in whatever match she chooses.